Hey, we're back. It's time for another episode of Lighthouse Labs with yours truly. Well, okay, so my name's Matt Allman here, but yours truly is also another name that I go by. Now, I know that you thought maybe we've exhausted everything we could possibly talk about with Odoo, but we're really just scratching the surface. And today, I want to talk about two modules that maybe they don't directly seem like you'd have a need, but maybe you could. It's actually a couple of modules we ended up using way more than we thought we were. We're going to combine them together. We're going to talk about events and we're going to talk about surveys. Because what good is an event if you don't know how people loved it? To get us started, let's take a look at the events module. Now, I'm going to be using the enterprise version of Odoo, but this is actually one of those community-driven features as well. So if you just need some help getting set up in it, you can get started very low cost and get yourself going in terms of getting these events scheduled. All right, well, let's get going, okay? Now that we're sitting inside the event module, we'll take a look. We can see that we have several different options here. We have our events, we have event types and registrations. Let's get things going by creating a brand new event. We'll go ahead, we'll click our new events button. And then we have our event name. Let's call this Annual Sales Conference 2026. If I can type. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll pick a date. Let's say that this takes place May 26. It's going to start at 9 a.m. and it's going to stop right there, right at lunch. We'll go ahead, we'll set everything else up. Fix our times. And you know what? We're going to be pretty good with that. Now, if we needed a location, we can pick our location sitting right here in our venue. And that way, all of that information is sort of linked together. Now, it doesn't have to be a physical location. You actually can do webinar type opportunities. But for a different time, we're just going to leave it as this demo section. You can also set whoever's responsible for this event. Mitchell Admin seems to be pretty good to me. He's done good job, good work. And if you want this to specifically show up on a specific website for the registration, you can. Do you want this to be published? And you can pick the date and it'll automatically publish. You can also figure out, do you want this to be publicly linked? Do you want this to be via a link that you send out? Or is it something that you have to be logged in order to see? We'll just leave it at public just to make things a little bit simpler on ourselves. And we'll go ahead. Well, we must not have something set. Okay, there we go. Published. Now, we need to figure out how our tickets look like, okay? So let's go ahead and let's create just a couple of different kinds. So the first one that we're going to do is we're going to have our early bird special. So let's call early bird pass. We're going to say the price is, let's just say it's $199. And then we can either specify when this is going to be done, which this is for early bird people. So we're going to say it needs to be ordered by May 1st. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit the maximum as 50 so that there's only 50 that can be purchased. Then what we'll do is we'll just create another one. We'll say regular. This one is $2.99. We're not going to set a date. You'll be able to buy those whenever. And then the number of seats is going to be 150. And then maybe VIP, $5.99. Let's really get some money out of these guys. But we've only got 30 of those. Now, if I want, I can set these up with tradings. That way it's very quickly to create similar events over and over again. You can specify language, number of slots. So if there's multiple time slots, you can still order the tickets and it can handle all of that. Okay. We can also add tax. We can also limit the overall registrations if we need to for the number of total attendees. All of that's happening right there on the fly. Let's go ahead. Let's save this event. And take a look at the registration section. Now, inside the registration, this is where we can track how we're doing from a registration standpoint. If we go into one of our demo events, let's take a look at what's going on. We can see that 2 people have registered just earlier today. We could then drill down based on those and take a look at, hey, we can mark these people as attended. They didn't show up. Maybe we can even cancel them altogether. Another great thing about the event module is that you can create follow-up emails, documentations, reminders for events, questions that you want to ask as part of the ticketing process. You can also link this to your point of sale, part of training tracks, if you're going to be doing those for the larger meetings. And just have this really nice sort of registration just sitting right here. All of the information that you need. And your users will be able to get in no problem. If you need to organize your events better, you can also create tags so that you can find and search your different event types, making it really easy to put those up. On the day of, you have the registration desk module, which is really great because then from here, we can actually go through and either use a barcode to check your members in, or you can hit select attendee and you can just go ahead and click them, register them in, either continue, or you could even print a name tag for them. So what makes the events module so important or so valuable to your organization, especially if you schedule events? One, like everything else with Odoo, it's a centralized place to hold all of your details regarding your business. So now it's not just about having some third party have access to your information. All of the data that you collect through the events module flows right through your normal CRM in Odoo. Your details, registrations, finances, communications, your tickets are all placed in with the association of products. You'll have all of the financial details right there at your fingertips. Another great thing is automation. Being able to automate the process and have your onboarding, your confirmation emails, your follow-up messages when the event's all done makes things nice, simple, and clean. Revenue tracking allows you to see how this event performed from a financial perspective, and it allows you to do it very quickly and at a glance. You'll still be able to do what a lot of other services do with attendee insights, and it's very scalable. So whether you're running just one small workshop or large conferences all the time, Odoo is able to scale with you. The integration, obviously the integration within Odoo itself is phenomenal because it's all based on the data that is referenced in your database, meaning all of your data is connected. If you have a CRM record for a particular user and they have signed up in your registration, you'll be able to see revenue as well as attendances and past history for those events. It also gives you a professional appearance that you can integrate with the website module that allows your website to look clean It's not redirecting to another site. It's all handled in one spot. Now, what happens after the event? And we want to talk a little bit more about surveys. Well, let's get started on there. Let's take a look at the surveys module. For the surveys module, this is a tool designed to help you gather customer feedback. Maybe not just customer feedback, but prospect feedback, information from anybody that you'd like to know a little bit more. Maybe you're doing market research or just in collecting employee opinions. Whether you need a quick pulse survey or an in-depth questionnaire, Surveys has you covered. So let's take a look. Back at our dashboard, let's find our Surveys app. Now let's take a look at the survey module. Maybe in your last email on your event that you held, you want to collect more information. What a great way to put that link inside the final communication. So let's create a survey for that. Let's take a look. We'll go into our Surveys app here in Odoo. And you can see we have some pre-built just as part of our demo environment here. But we're going to create a brand new one. So here's all of our current surveys with the number of questions, how many people have completed them. We can even create certification tracks. Maybe you want to create a customer or an employee onboarding process and have it so that they have to take a test to make sure. You could create your own little vendor certifications. Or maybe you sell a product and you want to make sure that people know what they're doing. Combine that with the e-learning processes of Odoo, and you could have quizzes at the end and be able to issue certificates. All right, well, let's get started. Let's go ahead and let's click New Survey. A lot of the screens that you're going to see are very similar to what you saw before. We do have, is this a general survey? Is this a live session, which allows you to sort of collect data as a live poll? Is this an assessment, as in it's a test? Or are we going to go full custom? We'll want to give a clear survey. We'll just say, let's say sales conference survey. Okay. Who's responsible for the data in here and managing this? We'll go ahead, Mitchell admin, he's working hard. We're going to go ahead and we're going to leave it to him. Go ahead. We can go through and determine what do we want let's kind of start backwards a little bit. But I'll go into the messages tab. And if we wanted to, we could insert an intro message that says, thank you for attending our conference. This quick survey, always got to make it sound like it's faster than it is, will help us improve the event for years to come. And for the end message, we appreciate your feedback. See you next year. Whoop, next year. Okay. Maybe we want to take a look at some other options here. We can take a look at all kinds of information. Do we want to show them as percentage left for the progress they're making? Is it numbered? Question selections. This is really great if you are trying to create a certification. You can have the questions be randomized per section. That way they're not always the same. Or we're going to give every question. Pagination is 1 page per question. Means we're going to click next every single time we have a question. Or we can say 1 page per section. So we might have 3 or 4 questions inside of a section. It'll show us all of those. Then we can click next. Or we can give them everything. It's all one shot, right? If this is a test, you can create scoring. Here's answers on the end. There's no scoring. We can also time limit this to make sure that it's done. If this is a live session, you can generate a session code, which allows your users to access this. You could create sort of a live poll if you wanted to, as what's going on right during your meeting. And then let's go ahead and let's take a look at our question section. Now for that, we can just say, overview. Here's my section, and I'm going to ask a question. What is my question? Well, first that I want to decide is what type of feedback am I looking to get? Am I looking to have them just pick something singular? Am I looking to have them select multiple things? Am I looking to have them give me a long feedback or maybe just a short bit of text? Is this a number that I'm looking for? Am I looking for a scale, date and time, or I could do a matrix, right? So now if I were to say, please rate the following, we could. And I could say one choice per row, or I could say multiple choices. I could allow them to have a comment field, and I could say, please share your additional comments. We could say whether or not this comment satisfies this as an answer, because maybe I want to make this required. That allows me to require this. I could say, what answers does this trigger? In other words, I can make the form smart. This question would only show up if I answered another question a certain way. We don't have anything like that yet, so we don't see anything. Let's go ahead and let's have our choices. And we could say cleanliness, organization. Sorry, we could say one. I got these backwards, don't I? Yeah, good. So for choices, I'm going to say, what do I want the values to be? And for rows, we went ahead and we said, this is the question I'm trying to answer. So tell me about the cleanliness, the organization, what have you. So we can create all of this. We can specify whether there's a time limit. We can say save. Then we can create another question. And then let's go ahead and let's just, let's say this is a scale. Set scale 1 to 10. And we'll just say the triggering answer. No, nothing fun there. So let's just say, how did you feel about the event as a whole? And then we'll add another section. And I'll say, follow up. Add a question. And let's say single select. We'll say yes, no. Do you think you'll be back? So close. Long text. Do you think you'll be back? No, it will be a triggering answer for this, because we want to know what could we do better. Now, when we're ready to go, we'll just go ahead and let's just try it out. We'll hit test, and here's exactly what it's going to look like. Thanks for attending our conference. This will help us improve the event. There is a time limit. We did 10 minutes, and you can see here's what those matrix looks like. Every single row we can give a 1 to 5. How did you feel about this event as a whole? I'll give it a 6. Do you think you'll be back? No. And now you can see the what could we do better come back. Once all of these start coming in, you'll be able to track all of your responses, see how people are doing. Let's take a look at our feedback form. We can view how people responded, be able to tell if they skipped it, any comments or anything that they've described you. Now you can keep on top of all of your feedback and learn more about whether or not your customers, employees, or just general market research about the things you're doing as a company. Have those right at your hands. And that's pretty much it for the events module. When combined together, these two items can be very powerful and help you direct your company exactly where it needs to do and stay focused on the things that are relevant for your clients.